Live from Indianapolis, Indiana, welcome to the Crossroads Sports Radio Show, presented by Scott K. Nichols and State Farm Insurance. And now, here's your hosts, Brandon Reef and Jonathan Birdsong.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Crossroads Sports Radio, episode number 298. I'm your host, Brandon Reef, and I'll be joined momentarily by my co-host, Jonathan Birdsong. And we're live here in Indianapolis, Indiana. We'd like to thank our sponsors, Scott K. Nichols, State Farm Insurance, as well as Mavericks Custom Motorsports. Without both of those sponsors, we would not be able to do what we do already. So big shout out to them. Thank you for joining us for that. Tonight, big show this evening. We've got NBA. Plenty to talk about in the association. We've got the Indiana Pacers. We've got Pacers Bucks game 6 tomorrow night. We've got the other playoff series to talk. We've got the drama of the offseason with the Lakers and also the Phoenix Suns that we're going to talk about. We've got NFL draft recap. Myself and Jonathan will talk NFL draft recap this evening for you as well. Some Kentucky Derby talk with the odds. Derby is this weekend, so looking forward to that. And then we also have some news and notes around the league with Ball State, Ball State men's golf team. So we'll talk that much more this evening on the show. We're going to have our guy join us here shortly. Jonathan will join us. But what a show tonight. NBA playoffs have been amazing, right? I think you all have to agree that the NBA playoffs have stepped up. They have stepped up way more. I think they're more exciting than this year's NCAA tournament was. And I'm not afraid to say that. I mean, don't get me wrong, the NCAA tournament's good. It was great, but man, let me tell you, the NBA playoffs each and every night, these dudes are bringing it out there, and what can we say? It's they're stepping up, they're playing great ball. Every night, there's typically a crazy game. Last night's crazy game, the Reggie Miller 2.0 game. We had the Evan Mobley block for the Cavaliers game. We've got Jamal Murray hitting buckets to win ball games. The NBA playoffs have been far none better than the NCAA tournament. You can tweet me, you can at me, you can message me, you can call me here on the show, 929-477-3331. That's 929-477-3331. But the NBA playoffs have been spectacular. And I don't think my co-host here is going to disagree with that. JB, how are you? And you have to agree, my man. Am I right on this? The NBA playoffs far more exciting than the NCAA tournament was this year.
I cannot even go down that road with you, man. I'm not going to say the NBA is not exciting, but without the Lakers and without LeBron, you know what I'm saying, some of the drama does dip down just a little bit. I'm just being honest with you, man. College basketball and college football drive me crazy like none other week to week, man. So I can't necessarily go down that road with you, man. But I will say a level has been turned up with certain individual players, man. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, alluded to Jamal Murray stepped up, hit 2 game winners on the Lakers. We've seen great individual basketball play out of Joel Embiid. He had a 50-burger in one of the series, in one of the games against the Knicks. Brunson, people are lauding him as bigger than Carmelo Anthony, and you know what I'm saying, that's crazy. So there is some hype definitely going into this playoff. In the 2024 playoffs season, but man, Brandon, don't put me on the spot like that, man. College basketball, I don't want to go crazy again over Danny Hurley and his 30 years of
just
basketball.
This year, so far from what we've seen game wise, by none. The NBA's had more buzzer. The NCAA tournament, there wasn't a single buzzer beater this year. There wasn't. I know this because I put a bet on there. They had a prop bet for it. There wasn't a single one. NBA, we've had 4. So. I take that any time. But, John, let's dive right in. NBA, the association. Let's talk Indiana Pacers, John. Pacers lead the series 3-2 against a hobbled Milwaukee Bucks team. Last night they went into Milwaukee to try to just get through it, get it over with, move on, get some rest, because we'll talk about the next series. Man, and give the Bucks credit, man. They didn't roll over and die without everybody, but they stepped up and they have forced a pivotal Game 6 in Indianapolis here tomorrow night. No Lillard. Lillard is doubtful for tomorrow, and so is Giannis. So we're looking at the same crew again. Me and the wife, we're going to be there. We're going to be there at Game 6 tomorrow night, so we're excited. But thoughts on last night, John, and then what's crucial coming up here with this Game 6 for Indiana? Oh, we lost John. So, well, we'll get John to call back here momentarily. But I'm going to go ahead and say, last night's game, it wasn't going to be easy for Indiana at all. Having Milwaukee backs against the wall, Bobby Portis back after the ejection, no Giannis Antetokounmpo, no Dame Lillard. Of course, they were going to play their asses off. Why wouldn't they? And they proved their guys hit shots and all that. So that was awesome to see. John, welcome back. Sorry we dropped you. I don't know how far you heard me before I dropped out, but thoughts on Game 5 last night with the Bucks Pacers. Milwaukee did not die. They have forced Game 6 for tomorrow night.
Just a little disappointed from the pace standpoint. The Pacers like to play with tremendous pace, and they do like to play with more than just, a six-man rotation. They do like to go a little bit deeper in the bench. I know that was a big, contentious thing. It's during the first game because Carlisle went like 11 deep. But if you felt like, as they got this lead in the series, that they had control of the Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis is not out there. Damian Lillard is not out there. You've beaten this team. I get it in the regular season, So there was this level of disappointment, and particularly, and after that necessarily finger point. But this kind of like all around. I get it. It's on the road, but you're the Pacers. You're trying to be, a team that says all the right things in the pressers, from Halliburton to Miles Turner. And I would consider those to be the team leaders. They say all the right things, but when we get there, when we have on the field, on the court, is like kind of mind boggling. Either it's a critical turnover or it's Halliburton, seemingly missing shots that he would normally hit, and and it's not there. So, and again, I'm not necessarily pointing fingers directly towards him, but he is the leader of the team. We didn't necessarily get a great game out of Pascal Siakam last night. Obi Toppin, didn't necessarily have a great game either. Again, guys that they depend upon. Depth, I get it. Depth guys, not necessarily all-star names, but depth guys, and they didn't show up. So this level of disappointment, I think they'll bounce back, all right? And because everybody gets better legs, you feel better, when you pay them back home. But if you want to be taken seriously as a serious playoff contender and to put a little, figure in the next round, whoever it might be, Philadelphia or the Knicks, you wanted to take care of business last night. And, if you do have any negatives, you want to take care of business last night because the Knicks in Philadelphia is going to go extended series, right? So you want to kind of take care of business, as soon as you can. So this come out, like I said, last night, this level of disappointment where they could have closed out and then kind of been waiting to see. Instead, now they got to play a whole other game. So, I think they'll bounce back.
Yeah, last night the cast of characters, Pat Connaughton hitting threes, Pat Bev making scrappy plays, getting under the skin, Obi Toppin, under the skin of Halliburton there. Kind of, and I'm not going to give it a downgrade, but, Miles Turner, where were you at? Halliburton, where were you at? Those are your key guys who in this series have stepped up in those moments for the Pacers. Halliburton 16.6 rebounds, but Siakam had a bad game, 5 of 12 shooting, 12 points. But the boys need to step up here. It's a home game. It's going to be loud and rowdy. You got to find a way. You got to find a way to stop Chris Middleton, John. Chris Middleton is he's a problem, and if you can stop him with what these pieces have for Milwaukee, I think you're in a good spot. Milwaukee's Middleton so far, he's had 23, 15, 42, 25, and 29, respectively, playing 40 minutes with a little hobbled ankle. But if they can find a way to slow down Middleton tomorrow with some kind of defense, and I'm hoping Rick comes out with that puts a little wrinkle into it, because if you just come up and say, well, you know what, we'll just chalk that up to a bad night, and we'll be better the next one. It's a home game. You got to have at least a little bit of a wrinkle, because you got to think Milwaukee's going to have a little bit when they come here to Indiana. Once again, it's been a great series, back and forth. Man, that Friday night game was amazing. You know, the overtime thriller. My God. And if you didn't hear me, I put it out, and I need to put it on the airways, I guess, now. Um, I have forgiven, hand up, you can see on the live right now, I have forgiven Andrew Nemhard for all his transgressions and everything I've said about him. He's earned his pinstripes as a pacer. Andrew Nemhard has, so I'm willing to accept that, and he is now not on the shit list anymore for me. Won't say a bad thing about him whatsoever. By the way, we're live tonight on Facebook Live. We're live on YouTube. We're live on the other Facebook page, and then we're all personal and profile YouTube, and then also on X/Twitter. So we got 4 streams tonight. We're using new software tonight, so pray for that test to go all right. I've been working on it the last 5 days, so hopefully everything goes smooth with that. There, so let's pray that goes well. Tomorrow night, John, Pacers right now are 8-point favorites at home against Milwaukee. You got to believe you're going to get Milwaukee's best shot tomorrow night. I think the game will probably be close for about 3 quarters. I think about 3 quarters, and then maybe with about 6 minutes to go, Indiana kind of stretches it out. But they have to close this out tomorrow night. You cannot, and I repeat, you cannot. It's a must win. You cannot lose this game at home against Milwaukee tomorrow, because Game 7, I would not be shocked to see a Dame Lillard or a Giannis. Hey, we just need some key points at the end of, quote, a game that we need you. We don't need you to play the whole, but give us some key ones at the end. I would not be shocked if that happened, if it went to a Game 7. So get it done tomorrow night.
Yeah, the Pacers don't want to involve themselves in any type of Game 7s, man. Game 7s, even with a ragtag bunch like the Milwaukee Bucks, just give the Pacers. This is like, hey man, just give the Milwaukee Bucks their best shot, and they should win the game. They have the edge, either in depth or just straight up at each position. If you ask anybody, Pat Bev or Halliburton, they're gonna tell you Halliburton 10 out of 10 times. If you ask, say Miles Turner or Lopez brother, you know what I'm saying? It might be 50-50. Because they are 50-50. I think, But like between everybody else on the team, like I think the Pacers got a better roster. TJ should be the 6th man of the year. He probably won't, but he should get consideration. He's coming off the bench. He's better than Pat. He's just as good as Pat Bev. I know people gonna say that's crazy. TJ McConnell is good as Pat Bev.
I think
TJ's way better than TJ.
I think TJ offensively is better, but I think defensively, I think Pat's better.
Who would you? Okay, so I wonder. I know there's a stat for it. I wonder. I bet you. I ain't gonna bet you because I don't bet. I would wager that TJ McConnell got a winning record as a starter over Pat Bev as a starter.
Okay, I'll see if I can find it. I'll look forward to that.
Yes, you can find that. But actually, that might be a pretty good, Facebook. We ain't did that in a long time, man. Pat Bev or TJ McConnell.
Yeah, why don't you get that on the Facebook tonight and on the Twitter? We'll see what we can get.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens, man. But I like I said, man. Some of Obi Toppin, you are a free agent. Don't forget about that. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, Paige Siakam. Like, dude, they don't have no answer for that.
They're trying with Bobby.
The Bucks don't have. Bobby Portis. I don't want no disrespect to Bobby Portis. Bobby Portis.
Here we go.
Bobby Portis is a champion. Oh, do you got the information?
No, I'm just thought you were gonna go I thought you were gonna do a ricochet shot at Bobby Portis.
No, Bobby Portis is an accomplished basketball player. You would probably see him. He's a piece, like he's a C. You know what I'm saying? You need players like him. You know what I'm saying? Guys that can, seemingly, get a critical rebound, hit a critical shot, get to the free throw line. you know what I'm saying, and be a defensive presence. You know what I'm saying? He ain't necessarily that great shot blocker like Miles, but you want to have players like Bobby Portis, man. Shame on the Bulls for trading, right? But no, man. Offensively, he shouldn't nowhere near be anywhere near anybody's 20. Okay, so they should run the Milwaukee Bucks like a dog tomorrow, and just be done with it, and kind of be watching, eating popcorn. You know what I'm saying? Seeing what the Knicks and San Francisco are gonna do, and when they go 7, and maybe Halliburton and whoever else needs, you know, what I'm saying, McDermott, whoever else can get some rest.
So far, the only stat I found is head-to-head against these two. Beverly leads the series 7-4.
I wonder why. Pat Bev always coattail riding.
And that's going into this series. So this series did not count. So this is prior to this series, looks like.
Interesting.
Wins as a starter. I love the app StatMuse because you can almost find anything. Pat Beverly has won 6 times as a starter versus T.J. McConnell in his career. 6-2. 6-2 versus T.J. TJ's 0-2 as a starter.
As a starter.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So.
That's probably when he played for the Lakers.
Yeah, right. Looking at the other games, John, in the Eastern Conference, we've got Celtics Heat tonight getting ready to start. 13.5-point favorites. Celtics lead the series 3-1. I don't see a reason why Boston doesn't put the wraps on it tonight. Them and Executive of the Year, Brad Stevens, roll off to the second round.
Yeah, even with they wanted that, again, like I said about getting nicked up players injured. You know what I'm saying? Rest. They got to get Porzingis the rest. You know what I'm saying? I hope we ain't breaking down before our very eyes, because those non-contact injuries are the ones everybody should be. Say what?
I said that was scary injury. I thought that was it for him.
Yeah, so they said several games for Porzingis, which means that's going to bleed into the next series. They got Porzingis for the primary reason to get to the NBA championship game, to spell. They're starting big. Who's Al Horford, who's 89 years old in NBA years. They got him to spell him, and to be a factor into playing against a Giannis, and a factor being or a Joel Embiid, or ultimately against a Joker. So I think the Celtics take care of business tonight, and they the gentleman sweep to the Miami Heat.
Yeah, I don't think they got anything really to worry about. I think no matter what, you rest Porzingis at least to the Eastern Conference Finals, and go from there, because I think second round they'll be okay. But man, this Cavs and Magic series has been a forgettable one, but it's been weird, John. And Cleveland leads 3-2. Cleveland dominated the first 2 games, and then Orlando comes down and puts a 40-burger on Cleveland.
Yeah.
And then they had a shot to win Game 5, and the block at the end by Mobley sealed it. But, man, this series, I don't know. It's wild.
It's a series that nobody, unless you're an extreme hoop head, right, nobody's paying attention to. Just because I think it's just because of the cities. But, it's a lot. I think it's going to go 7. You got Banchero going crazy. You look up his stat offensively, going crazy. The Wagner brothers, you got a great game out of them. Not necessarily great guard play, and that's kind of been the hampering of the Orlando Magic. The first 2 games, man, they kind of called the guards. You name them. That guard was watching. They was watching. He's on short time to himself in Cleveland. They was watching the guard play of the. I need to get my computer up, Brad. But they was watching the guards of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Mm-hmm. Like dominate.
Garland,
and
Mitchell.
Spider Mitchell almost had a triple double, and they still got him going out of town because the Cleveland Cavaliers still ain't at odds. But in the right now, they're playing. Both those teams are playing some real good basketball, and it's probably gonna come down to the home game. That's how good even these teams are matched. But yeah, it's the series that nobody's really kind of paying attention to.
Orlando is 4.5-point favorites in the game coming up between these two. So 4.5-point favorites. The other series that Pacers fans are kind of keeping an eye on their own is the Knicks and the 76ers. Man, this series has been wild, needless to say. Sorry, you're too far away from the mic. Couldn't hear you. But
Tyrese Maxey, and the guard player of the Knicks on the Knicks and the Philadelphia side has been, you know what I'm saying? Maxey got unleashed last night.
Yeah.
With the
Reggie Miller 2.0. 8 points in 29 seconds. And the Knicks get shunned in Madison Square last night, which a little bit you got to love to see it. Got to love to see it. But these people trying to think Jalen Brunson is better than Patrick Ewing, that's better than Carmelo Anthony, that's better than Walt Frazier. Let's pump the brakes a little bit.
They've crowned him. They've crowned him, man.
That's idiotic. That's idiotic.
Well,
this dude takes bad shots, turnovers. You saw it last night. He threw the ball away when he's trying to throw the heart. Man, just make play. What the hell are you doing?
Brandon, Charles Oakley said he's as important as Walt Clyde Frazier.
Well, Charles Oakley. Enough said right there.
But there might be some CTE in that. I don't know. Yeah, you're right.
He doesn't impress me. I'm sorry, he doesn't.
Brunson is for his size. You know what I'm saying? But, you know what I'm saying, throwing the ball in the air, like, you know, that's a no-no. Right. Passing, you know what I'm saying, either you take the shot or that's it. That's a no-no. So, I gave the Sixers life.
I hope the Sixers are 3.5-point favorites on the 2nd tomorrow night at 9 o'clock. Late one tomorrow night, 9 p.m. from Philly. Pacers game at 6:30 tomorrow night, by the way. I will say that. But here's my thought. If you had your choice between the Knicks and Philly, I'd rather have the Knicks come in to play Indiana. I'd rather have the Knicks. Let Josh Hart come back to Indianapolis. If people don't remember, Josh Hart has some fun things to say about Indiana on a podcast earlier this season.
He said he hated Indiana.
Yeah. The only thing he liked was Steak and Shake. What the hell?
No, if you're the Pacers, Joel Embiid has kind of owned the Pacers front line, whether it was Sabonis, Miles Turner, Potapinko, Rick Smith, you name them, man.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? Joel Embiid has career numbers. But, no, man, from a matchup standpoint, the Pacers want to play the Knicks for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Over on the Western Conference side, John, Oklahoma took care of business as the number 1 seed, 4-0 sweep of the Pelicans. You like what the Thunder are doing? Kind of can you see them making a little bit more noise?
Who's the next opponent?
They will play the winner of the Clippers and Mavericks, who is tied 2-2 right now.
I mean, neither one of those teams can rebound worth of shit. So yeah, they. I'll be honest with you, man. I had thought Dallas was going to easily dispel, especially with Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard's a shell of himself.
Kawhi doesn't want to play.
Kawhi Leonard is stale. Dude, he got his money, man. Championships, man. Go sit down. Well, quit wasting everybody's time. Popovich tried to tell us this 4 years ago. Quit wasting everybody's time, man. Them needs a shot, man. And like every now and then they can put a needle in him, and he can go out there and get you 25 and 8 in the claw. You be like, oh, the claw, and you know it make. But like, man, this is the reason why Paul George ain't signed his contract.
Yeah, you know
he ain't staying there long term to play with the beard.
You know what?
Play with James Harden.
is. You know what Kawhi is?
You're a fraud. Just stop.
He's a fraud. Kawhi is a fraud, man.
At this point,
you can't be happy if you're the Clippers coach or owner, right? Like, I'm paying you for what? Sit your ass on the bench?
Unfortunately, they're kind of stuck with that contract. That's something that you can't even luau dang your way out of there. You know what I'm saying? They kind of stuck with that. There's no way nobody would trade for that. Kevin Durant, I know, I'm shifting gears a little bit.
Don't
Kevin
switch.
Durant,
we'll get to that.
you can still get juice out of that orange. But Kawhi Leonard, nah, man.
Who do you like in this series then? We'll go Clippers Mavs 2-2. Dallas 3.5-point favorites tonight.
I thought, man. Outside of that Paul George, man, he would play all P. That, you know what I'm saying? That three. Outside of that, man, I thought Dallas was going to take care of business, man, because everybody's sweeping up Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic and like that. It does look good, but like it doesn't. How do you get down 30?
Ask
And can
Cleveland.
you want me to take that seriously? How do you get down 30?
I mean, Indiana was down 25 at one point last night.
Well, the payroll versus the Pacers and what that. I'm just saying, man. We know. Listen, the Pacers are happy to be in the playoffs and want to advance. The Clippers put together a team that they said they could win a championship. You know what I'm saying? Dallas wants, like Luka Doncic, like you need to be flirting with a championship, flirting with the Western Conference Finals again. So I'm just saying, just a little bit more pressure and odds. You know what I'm saying? I thought at this point, Brandon, I think go 7, and if Paul, it might come down to, a Luka Doncic fade away or a Paul George, because you can't really trust some of the other parts. You can't really trust some of the other teammates, man. Can you trust Kyrie Irving? Absolutely not. Can you trust James Harden?
Yes.
Stop it.
Yes. He's the only one you can trust.
Yes, trust James Harden?
The dude's averaging 20. That dude's averaging 27 a game in the playoffs right now. He's the only one you can trust. 91% from the three. He's averaging 26, 4, and 7.
Brandon, it's James Harden.
I don't care, John. He's the only one producing for this team. You have to ride him. He's shooting 50% from 3 for the series.
Okay, they're not right. They riding Paul George, but you trust James Harden, you lose your money.
This series, I am. You can't trust. Who else you gonna trust? You gonna trust Westbrook? No. You gonna trust Kawhi? No. You gonna trust Zubac?
No,
hell no. You gonna trust PG?
Well, Zubac,
maybe a little bit more than Harden, but PG's had his own issues.
Yeah, staying healthy, staying 100%.
Until
I like that. I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna take the Clippers. I know it's crazy.
Paul George, his 5 games, 22, 22, 7, and 33. What is he averaging? He's averaging 21, 4, and 5. Man, give me Harden. This dude's carrying this team right now at 27 a game. It's ugly. It sucks, but you go with the girl that brought you. You brought.
Stamp it, Brandon. Go ahead and stamp it. You won't go out and stamp it. Trust James Harden? Never.
This series,
you know better.
This series, I will.
Nah, he's gonna put an asterisk on it. No, man. Trust James Harden. It's the same guy. Houston, this is the same guy. Oklahoma, same guy. Brooklyn, same guy. Man, don't trust James Harden. It's Philadelphia, same guy. Man, stop it.
He's got
Brandon.
But without him, they would have won these games, right?
He is going to freeze at some point.
I'm saying, yeah, he may. I absolutely think he will, but he leads this. He's 26 a game, 17 threes, 7 assists, 1.5 blocks. They're showing it right now. They're 2-0 this series without Kawhi. 2-2 with him in. I think you give it to.
Hey, man, listen, ain't nobody stepping Kawhi Leonard no more. They need to tell him to go home, man. Stay out the way. Okay. He's on Derrick Rose.
Well, I'm excited to see what our man does tonight with James Harden. Let me see.
Who's that?
Just Harden. He plays tonight, 10 o'clock.
How many turnovers you going to have?
Dallas is on the road. 3-point favorites on the road tonight. Points-wise, they've got Harden over, under 22.5. The under is heavily juiced.
Him and Luka ain't going to guard one another? They ain't playing no defense.
I like Harden tonight. I do.
I don't understand. I think we're saying that the Clippers going to win. We're just not saying for the same reason.
Right, but they're not even favorites tonight at home, which is crazy.
Well, do they think Dallas going to get a great game out of Tim Hardaway Jr.? No, I don't. You know what I mean?
He's out.
I don't know, man.
He's out.
He's out. Okay.
Yep. He's out. He'll be back on the 3rd.
The Clippers should win this series.
Well, if you go by the stats, man, Kawhi out, the Clippers should win. So we'll see what happens with that one. Let's see here. Where's my clips? Here we go. Next series we have John. The bagpipes are playing, and I have told you, if I haven't told you 1,000 times, this is my Ric Flair part. Kevin Durant will never win an NBA championship ever again. This dude is the biggest prima donna crybaby I have ever seen in the league. John, this team The Suns themselves have screwed themselves over so bad since 2021 when they went to the finals against the Milwaukee Bucks. They've made bad trades. They've gotten horrible players. They've got themselves locked into contracts. They've got themselves a coach that none of these players, unfortunately for Frank, they don't believe in. This was the tweet that was sent out as soon as the Suns were eliminated by Shams on Sunday night. Quote, in The Athletic, KD was not always happy how he was used. Sources tell The Athletic that Durant never felt comfortable with his role in Phoenix's offense alongside Booker and Beal. Persistent issues with the offense, feeling like he was being relegated to the corner far too often, and not having the proper design to play to his strengths as the offense was built around pick and rolls. At the same time, some teammates and people close to the organization believe Durant needed to voice his concerns more adamantly and directly with Vogel and his coaching staff. Kevin Durant is a fraud.
Ain't that incredible, Brandon? Here, Kevin Durant, he can hit whatever shot on the court. Why are you worried about your position? Like, correct me if I'm wrong. When you talk to any basketball professor, they say Kevin Durant is in the top 10 of small forwards or whatever. And I'm like, why? But they'll say that, look at every angle, he can hit, and he can do this. He's 6'11", but he's complaining about the coaching. Like, dude, when is he ever going to take up and say, hey, man, I suck?
This dude wants out already, John. He wants out again. Unbelievable.
Shame on Matty Sheba. Because, like, man, everybody, all these new billionaires come into this league and think they can say, oh, man, I can fix that. I can fix that. And, like, then you come into it, and he overrid everything that James Jones. Of course, you're going to trade for Kevin Durant. But, like, what you gave up, because, like, what you gave up, like, it went to Brooklyn, and they didn't necessarily turn Brooklyn into a powerhouse. But,
right.
You know, different. Over here, they won a whole bunch of games. It did still make sense on paper. They're going to argue back. We don't play games on paper. But, again, you got two shooting guards and Bradley Beal, two offensively minded players and Booker, and you have Kevin Durant who has his defensive liabilities. And I don't understand how even the player, before it even gets to the end of the season, though, Brandon, like, we should have been talking about, like, trade. Vogel wanted to get a point guard.
Yeah, they thought Bradley Beal would be that guy, which is crazy.
Vogel wanted to get a point guard. Ownership said no. So they had to get Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah.
This was before a championship team. Mighty IT ain't been Mighty IT since what, 2013?
Right.
So that's man. Y'all Kevin Durant, you wanted $50 million, you signed that. Bill, you know he makes $49 million a damn self.
That's untradeable.
And Booker's on the books next year for he's already got no trade clause. So yeah,
right.
and there's no market for him either. But so, like, the Phoenix Suns are locked in position. They'll be suited for Kevin Durant.
John, they have to trade. They have to trade Kevin Durant. That's the only option because you're centered around Devin Booker as your piece. You have to trade Durant. Beal's not going to accept any trades.
How frustrating is that? Remember, it was Chris Paul's fault. That's why they pushed him up out of there.
Yeah.
They was better off keeping Chris Paul.
The Suns have a massive tax bill next season, John. So there's $189.5 million tied up with the starting five. Or, sorry, $189 million outside of the role players. The starting five is $184 mil. Can we say problems? And I got an article also as soon as Phoenix got eliminated. Another one came out, John. Frank Vogel entered the home locker room at the Footprint Center and lit into his team after his Phoenix Suns have fallen into a 35-4 hole en route to a loss to the Clippers on April 9th. The head coach yelled so much his voice could be heard outside the locker room. But there was only one problem. On this night, the Suns players weren't buying it. The outburst seemed forced and out of character in their eyes. It continued the next day at Los Angeles shoot-around, Vogel tearing in the Suns before that night's road win over the Clippers. Vogel's eruption left the players rolling their eyes. Sources briefed on the matter told The Athletic. One player even told The Athletic he had to keep from laughing. That's a problem in that fucking locker room, and I would not be shocked if it's not Kevin Durant.
Well, I mean, you gonna fire another coach because they let
Monty Williams
because they said he wasn't good enough, which was crazy.
And he wasn't because look what Detroit did.
Well, hold on, Brandon. Those are different set of circumstances, though, Brandon. He was coaching a team that was playoff ready and ready to go.
Yeah.
Players had already been in the league 4 or 5 seasons in, 6 seasons in, when he got Phoenix. You going to Detroit? That's like a reach, man. That's a hot, and it ain't all that stuff. That's not gonna work together. You can't have a ball dominant like Cade Cunningham and the homie from Purdue. They can't play together, bro. They can't. That's why they wanted to make Jaden Ivey a 6 man. And he's like, dude, you can't ask a 20-year guy to be a 6 man. He's not thinking like that. 6 man is for, somebody like my age. You know what I mean? All seriousness. Like, Jaden Ivey, he trying to get me, but so I'm not gonna say the coach, the coach like him going to Detroit. It's not, he coaching rookies and coaching 2nd-year players is different than coaching 6-year, 7-year guys. But Vogel, back to him. Vogel should won out. Maybe that was what that was for, Brandon. That drama was for. You know what I'm saying? You got an owner boneheaded, and you got players that don't want to dig. That's something that we all remember about Frank Vogel when he was Pacers head coach. Like, dude, he was the video guy that became the assistant coach. But like, his attention to detail is right up there. If we all remember, it's right up there with Spoelstra. I'm not saying he's better than Spoelstra, but his attention to detail. If we took this poll, I know Decock's listening. He's already gonna hate. But we took this poll 8 years ago when he was still with the Pacers. And it was him and Brad Stevens and Spoelstra in the East, man. He was one of the top coaches, period. I'm in the East or the entire NBA, period. You know what I mean? But things happened. Larry Bird told him to play this guy, not that guy, and they had a difference of opinion, and he got fired, and then he was fired for like 2 seconds.
Right.
Because Orlando Magic had it again, a different team and something that he shouldn't have no business with, because you got to be real patient with rookies, or you got to be real like crazy. And like, he's a preferred. If they laughed at Frank Vogel, then that's shame on them and Matt Sheba and ownership. You know what I'm saying? They got to blow that up, period. And keep Booker and however you can.
Who's the rat, man? Who's the rat in the organization that's spilling this stuff?
The organization, the Cedric Sabalas era is safe. Kevin Johnson's stats is safe. Kevin Durant, get out of town. Big Cactus, little Cactus, get out.
You got to wonder who's spilling the guts there during that thing, man. And you're sitting here. This proves exactly why you got your ass handed to you 4-0 to Minnesota. Matt, as we're talking about Phoenix, there was a tweet out from Matt Ashibe, Suns owner. Quote, Devin Booker's the face of the franchise, and he's going to be for the next 10-plus years until he retires. So, as we thought, you pushed all your chips in with Devin Booker, and you try to talk Briel into maybe we can find somebody else for you that's a better, and then you ship Durant out as the quickest way that you possibly can. Ship his ass to Orlando or somewhere. Just now, Miami wants him.
I would even you know what's gonna happen, Brandon? You're gonna have to trade Bradley Beal, or even like the homie the Claw if they want to trade if they want to trade Kawhi Leonard. You got to trade that for another bad contract. That means you're gonna have to get a Zach LaVine to come back on your team. That means you might get a Duncan Robinson to come back on your team.
Would they take a Duncan Robinson and a Tyler Hero? That contract he just signed.
I was. They were Durant, but like, man, like Spoelstra and them, like, dude, if you laugh at Frank Vogel, man, if Spoelstra asks you to do this, like, and you don't do it, like, your dog's is gonna be back there and pop you in the back of the head. And like, dude, why didn't you do it?
Well, I think that's the way place. Miami's the only one that wants him.
I think it kind of depends what Chicago. You know,
John, my man is a franchise killer. Yeah, he's a sniper, right? Easy money sniper, whatever else. Yeah, you sniping teams' playoff chances, your own.
Mm. But yeah, you had to get a bad contract in return. That's what you'd be looking at.
Yeah,
to get, or even a Kuzma, because he's a fool ass. But yeah, even a Kuzma.
Just embarrassing what poor Miami or Phoenix having to deal with that, and then obviously KD acting like typical KD, so he'll be out of there. But man, terrible to see with the fall from grace. We got to play our bagpipes again, John. Actually, before we do that, let's give credit to the team that swept their ass. T-Wolves, man. T-Wolves looking good, John. They got they looking good. 4-0 sweep. Anthony Edwards is on another level.
Anthony Edwards on another level. They got great consistency from Mike Conley Jr. From point guard standpoint. Karl Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert holding it down, like Twin Towers is supposed to do. They get decent scoring out of both of those guys and rebounds, block shots, all those things you want out of your bigs. Jay McDaniels gets, he's a defensive kind of guy, wing. He ain't necessarily great, he ain't necessarily going to roll him out there and you're going to get 10, 11 points just by him running around. But he is a defensive presence that's what they put mostly on Kevin Durant during that series. But nah, man, you got to tip your hat to Minnesota. I know they got some internal, not issues with the teammates, but like from an ownership standpoint, like what the team's going to look like going further after this season. So like maybe they're galvanizing that. Maybe they're going to try to push, their way. As they play Denver, right? And see if they can push that to 6 or 7 because this is kind of new territory for them. You're playing against the champs, and the champs, what the champs is capable of. Denver can pull out all kind of ways to beat. You can be up on Denver and think, and then they got another gear for you. So this is probably gonna be the Western Conference Finals before the Western Conference Finals.
Going to the other series, John, we said Nuggets. Gentlemen sweep at the Lakers 4-1. John, I've got Lakers fans in my tweets, in my DMs, telling me that the Lakers were the better team. I said, wait a minute. A series shows you overall who is a better team overall. Yes, the Lakers may have led for 150 some minutes through the series, while Denver only led for 50. But overall, as the best team, nah, I can't go with that. Denver shows why they are the better franchise in the scene. Even without a Bruce Brown, they still was able to get it done. Jamal Murray, Joker, Aaron Gordon, that crew. And it just shows pulls to the Lakers, man. Also, those three ain't you big three. They ain't.
The Lakers have to look at. They don't. I don't necessarily think the Lakers do that though, man. The Lakers have to look at
their coach.
That
I said it in 2022.
They were up like how many points against them? 20, 30, 25 points?
Yeah.
No, it was more than that. And they came back. Denver came back and won the game. And even the last game, man, the ass buster Jamal Murray, man. So like you have to force the ball. I know it's harder. It's easier said than done. But you almost want Joker to take the last shot before you want Jamal Murray to take the last shot. Joker is he's the big. I said this even in the bubble when I learned like how they do things in Denver. Joker he carries the water through the whole course of the season, through the course of the game, because he can shoot, he can rebound, he gets to the free throw line, he can pass. He does all those things for that team, right? The closeout guy, and this, everybody remember he got hurt. Right towards right out the bubble, year out the bubble, he blew a knee, right?
Yep.
Jamal Murray is their closer. He might not necessarily because he does stay in and out of the lineup. He doesn't necessarily always make the All-Star team. It doesn't always necessarily make the All-NBA, but he got All-Star NBA. All written all over. Remember, we had the great debate with the homies from the Epic Podcast last year. Was Jamal Murray? A top, we would say top 15, and we was like, yeah, definitely top 15 shooting guard in the league. But like, man, like I said, you gotta like what you see out of them. They've matured together. I mean, if they get another one, you can call them Stockton Malone. You can kind of put Joker and Murray. But like, nah, man, he's a cold-blooded killer. And like I said, against the Lakers, you almost wish that you can't. You gotta let Joker beat you. Don't let Jamal Murray beat you. And but unfortunately, Jamal Murray beat him twice. Probably gonna cost the coach a job.
Yeah. Before this playoff started, if you would ask me, do I think Denver would have been my favorite to win the title? No, I wouldn't have picked them. Do I think they are still my favorite? I don't. But I think they're going to get there. I think we're looking at ourselves a rematch, of the Celtics and Denver. I hate to say it, but these are the best two teams right now playing ball, and
Right.
that's kind of where we're going with this. Jokic has been yet to be stopped, and Boston. Porzingis. They just said a few minutes ago that Porzingis is out the next series. So no matter what, if they advance, they're looking at Eastern Conference for Porzingis to come back. If you look at it now, you're either got Indiana or New York. Which, by the way, Pacers there is a path for them to get to the NBA Eastern Conference Finals. There is a path because I ain't scared of the Knicks. I ain't really scared of Philly, but I sure as hell ain't scared of the Knicks. But anyways, back to the Nuggets. Yeah, I thought they may, I thought this may be after they won the title, kind of like that down year afterwards. But right now they're showing that they're going to be there. And you said the Lakers would not get swept. They did not get swept, but a couple things here and there, man. This series could have been completely different, right? But that just shows overall who's the better team.
D'Lo hit the shot. D'Lo put up a donut. He didn't hit a shot. Didn't make a shot. Didn't hit a free throw.
Yeah.
Didn't make a free throw. Right. There's that game. I always feel like Austin Reeves is always trailing. He always is, at a critical point. Like he's not the best. He's a great ball handler, great shooter, offensive minded player, but not necessarily a great defensive player. And you see what you have out of both of those guys. So what are you supposed to do, Brandon? Like LeBron James can play this tongue-in-cheek game. He play with the media and all the cameras and shit. Sorry, Brandon, I'm kind of getting mad because I'm about to go a little. I'm not scorched. What is below scorched earth? Man, like little hot lava. The kids play hot. The floor is lava. The floor is lava right now, Brandon. We ain't going scorched earth, but we got to go to the floor is lava because LeBron James is playing games, and I'm not for him. Okay. So, like, you can fool some of the people some of the time, but you can't fool CrossRoads Sports none of the time, right? LeBron James ain't going nowhere else but Los Angeles Lakers or going to retire. That's it. There is no other way. There is no Golden State. There is no Cleveland. There is no going back to Miami. There is no Knicks. There is no definitely Indiana. So there ain't no Dallas.
You know how good I am at this, right? With LeBron over the years. I have a good track record on where LeBron goes. You remember we had to bring those back when I first said he's going to Miami. Then when I said he's going back to Cleveland, and then to the Lakers. There's something about it. Me and LeBron, same age, just 2 months apart. I've been able to call what LeBron's doing. I 100% agree with you. He ain't going anywhere. He'll stay in L.A. He's not. I will be shocked. You can cut it, clip it, save it, send it to me by carrier pigeon. I don't think LeBron's going anywhere. Playing with his son, he said recently playing with his son's no longer a priority for him, which I thought was kind of, okay, we're sort of backtrack. Either that, he doesn't think that, hey, I don't want to sell the farm to have my kid play with me. Even if we're playing against each other, that's all right, I think that's him saying, hey, I want to get at least one more title, and I don't think we can, with my kid.
Right, you can't entertain both of those. This is not like the award tour where Ken Griffey went around with his dad. And I was a kid myself, so I didn't really understand the magnitude of it, but I do now because there's clippings of it. And man, Griffey, I don't correct me if I'm wrong. I wish Reggie would call because he's probably a little bit more knowledgeable. I don't think Ken Griffey's dad at the time, he wasn't an everyday player.
No, he wasn't.
You know what I'm saying? And Griffey wasn't the guy. He wasn't the one who transcended like he was. We got baseball talking about, right? Like when he became in Seattle when he was in his prime, he was still like, you know what I'm saying? So, but it was still great, you know what I'm saying? Because Ken Griffey was amazing. I don't want to take nothing away, you know what I mean? Ken Griffey's a baseball player. I think sometimes the histrionic, they don't talk about it enough.
He's my favorite baseball player of all time, John.
Brandon Reed.
I have 2 jerseys of his.
The black community, shame on them, man. They didn't wrap their arms around Ken Griffey. Everybody, like, man, he had Nike deals, he had commercials, man.
I still have his cleats.
Flat top.
From when I was in high school.
He wasn't goofy. Yeah, I remember the cleats, man. Oh, dude, Ken Griffey, hey man, Ken Griffey's that dude, but
Yeah.
dude, we had to go on work. But like, nah, man. Playing with LeBron James, playing with his son, like they're not on the same time track.
No.
You know what I'm saying? There is still a level of play that you can get out of LeBron James. Now, unfortunately, if LeBron James is, I know everybody's heard this before, if LeBron James is your best player on your team,
Oh.
you're going to win a bunch of games, but you're not going to win a championship. Not with him at 39, 40. You know what I'm saying? That's his reality. What he can do at 40 years old is still amazing. But somebody else has to be the better. Somebody else on the team has to be better.
Is it time to trade
I mean,
AD?
so like, what's the market for that? And that's not what LeBron wants. Just to be totally honest with you, Brandon.
Well, I'm sorry, but you don't have anything else to offer for anybody else.
Right. So like, this is what the Lakers are bad at, Brandon. They're bad at. You drafted Christie from Michigan State. You brought in the homie from Indiana. Are you developing those dudes, or are you gonna parlay those dudes into something else? Like, what? Because you should have parlayed them already.
I think the only
Here's the
dumbass
thing,
play
though.
they can get probably is Kevin Durant, just because Phoenix is like, hell,
But
have
listen,
him.
but like, nah, but Jimmy Buss ain't paying for that. Jimmy Buss not paying for that.
I
I'll
bet
tell
you
you
she
what,
would.
Brandon,
If she gets one more title
I'm
out of
glad,
LeBron.
Brandon, I'm glad you brought that up. I was thinking about this today, man. So like the Lakers, the franchise, people say that LeBron. I'm glad them people is in your DMs. You tell them suckers to call. They didn't call. They need to call in. Like, Brandon, there's they both want one another. Okay, they just want to see how bad you want to put. You know what I'm saying? You want me around. You know what I'm saying? There is still that. So like, Jimmy Buss is a billionaire who is known to overpay aging superstars. She overpaid Kobe Bryant. He stayed. You know what I'm saying? He took up all the salary cap, and it was what it was. He had a award tour. God bless America. And we still love it. We still love him. So I think right now, LeBron James is, he's just playing around with the cameras again. Jimmy Buss is going to sign that big megastar check. Now, but like what I'm saying, Brandon, she will pay for players who's going to play. You see what I'm saying? Kawhi Leonard, he's not a player. He's a player, but he's not going to play. Kevin Durant, he said he's going to play, Brandon, but he ain't going to play, Brandon. You can't have that.
PG?
You don't want that. The Lakers don't want that. You got to come. When you come to the Lakers, you got to play.
John, if they go out to get Klay Thompson, even that's not a piece that gets you over the hump. You're looking at an old ass Klay.
Hold on, Brandon. That appeases the masses. It does, and it don't cost you that much. But I knock their system of developing their young players. You have to get Hushafino ready.
Can I tell you where you go?
Go ahead. You got to get the kids ready. Otherwise, you don't need to have them on your roster with LeBron James.
You look at your free agents here. Obviously, D'Angelo Russell's a free agent. He's got an $18 million player option for next year.
Okay.
If you look at, you got your top free agents. Paul George also has a $44 million player option. Klay Thompson, man, I don't want any of that. That's old, broken down, and we've seen what's happened, unfortunately. It's happened. Tobias Harris, that's nothing to fluff about. Nah. James Harden, nah. Siakam's going to hopefully stay in Indiana. You don't want Gordon Hayward. That's not a piece that'll win you a title. Kyle Lowry, nah. Maybe adding a free agent of DeMar DeRozan, and then maybe working a trade from Atlanta for Trae Young. You get DeRozan and Trae Young to mix in there. Maybe then you're talking a little bit if you have Braun, AD, DeRozan, and Trae Young. That's about the only way I can see it that they would be instant contenders because there's nothing else on that makeup of that team.
That would be interesting, but they're going to ask a stupid price for Trae Young, and Trae Young is horrible defensively, horrible. But Atlanta's still going to ask for him because they have to overcorrect. Atlanta made a lot of mistakes. They got to overcorrect the DeJounte Murray trade, and this deal that they got him and Trae Young. They never worked, man. Who would tell? But like Brandon's like, man, these two. Man, I sometimes ask Brandon, why are we just sportscasters, podcasters? Why aren't we scouts? I ask this all the time. You can see Murray play. How many games he played for San Antonio, right? How many games did you see Trae Young play with Atlanta Hawks, right? Mm-hmm. Somebody said, hey, man, we can make that work over here together. Who the hell? Like, no. I can't believe it. If people, I can't believe it. These guys need to be fired.
Oh, I love it. John's starting to call the actions. To wrap up the Lakers, which we'll talk plenty in the offseason with this team, but through the Athletic, John, LeBron's going to wait and see what Lakers management does ahead of June 29th date for his player option. Player option would be $51 million. The NBA draft is on the 26th, and free agency starts on the 30th. So, by all means, the Lakers are interested in a 3-year, $164 million extension. By the end of that contract, LeBron would be 42. So,
puts him in different. I don't know if he plays out that. Maybe he plays. Maybe next year is his last year. I think because he said he also said, you know, I don't know if we finished out the Lakers, but it's gonna kind of lean into Bronny. He said what the family wants to do. I don't think Bronny does it. Bronny plays for some California. I'm sure he got whatever California school, either returning back to USC, you know what I'm saying, which I know was an option, or go to some other California school would definitely be an option. So you know, maybe that's probably what happens.
You know, I think with LeBron, I think maybe you get the 1 year, and you know damn well, people are like, "Oh, is he going to announce his retirement?" This dude, come on now. As much as I like LeBron, you know this dude is not going to announce his retirement in an off season. He is going to do it before the season starts. That way, he can get his flowers everywhere he goes, kind of like it was for Kobe. Man, this dude's going to drag it out. You know damn well that's exactly what it's going to be. So there's no question he ain't going to retire in the off season. So everybody just back it down. Lakers fans, stay in my DMs. You guys don't have the makeup to win a title. I'm sorry. You weren't the best team in the series. I'm sorry. You're not going to be the best team next year. I'm sorry. It's not. I'm sorry. Not happening. I want to thank our sponsors, John. Scott K. Nichols, State Farm Insurance, as well as Maverick Custom Motorsports. Without those two, John, we would not be able to do what we do. And what we do is bring to the masses. And we love it. So, uh-oh. I'm echoing. I'm hearing an echo on your side. Let's go NFL draft recap, John. Just some news and notes from the NFL draft. I was on the show last week with Epic Pod for the 4-hour marathon of the first round.
Oh, my God.
4-hour greatness. A lot of comedy, a lot of good talk. We had a good banter, though. There was 4 of us on there. We were waiting for you. But we had a lot of good talks about each team, kind of some of the outfits. I said the 3-peak Drake May looked like he's about to sell me insurance from State Farm, from Scott K. Nichols himself. So with his outfit, the Falcons drafted Michael Penix, and it sent shockwaves through the organization in Atlanta. Arthur Blank pissed off. Caught on camera. You there, JB?
Dude, I don't know. I know people lost their mind on that, but I don't necessarily know if I guess it's a reach because you feel like you could have got a better player than Michael Penix Jr. and still got Michael Penix Jr. right if you had made it a trade, right? But the big thing I can take away from it was, like I said, Drake May. Drake May looks like he's gonna be he could be a good quarterback, but it's gonna be a lot of pressure. And I don't know, man. I don't know if he's built for that kind of pressure, even with not necessarily being the next guy after he's the next guy after the next guy after Tom Brady. And like the New England Patriots is gonna want a quick turnaround. You know what I'm saying? Because we're off to a new era. Bill Brady, the Belichick is gone. But like, nah, man. The Colts fandom lost their minds because the Colts picked up another defensive end. What's his name? Latu.
Yeah. UCLA. Injured.
Just because he had, like, man, you know, medically, you know, one school didn't want to clear him. He transferred to another school, sat out a year and a half, and then he got some great tape out there, y'all. That's just how the NFL works, man. He got the best tape out there from a year removed from, you know, leaving Washington State and playing big time football at UCLA. However you want to look at, you know what I'm saying. I know me and Brandon probably walked our feet, you know what I'm saying, sometime during football season over UCLA football, and we'll continue to do so as they join the Big Ten, right? But like, no, man, he's got from an individual standpoint, some great tape out there. And just like quarterback, I would say the secondary role in the NFL that you must have, that you can always swing for the fences, is pass rush. The Colts have still question marks. I mean, it just didn't splash. It hasn't splashed with Kwity Paye. And like, how many years are we removed from him being, you know what I'm saying, that guy from Michigan that, all right, he's gonna be the anchor.
His options got to be decided by tomorrow, by the way. Tomorrow's the deadline for Kwity Paye's option for next season. So just something to watch for.
Something to watch for darn sure. So the Colts have to address that. Again, Lato has the best tape. I get the injury history, but like nobody knew about his injury history as the whole, you know what I'm saying, football season of college, you know what I'm saying, unfolded. So unless you were the junior gambler, right? But like no, man, he's up here. I know it's high risk, high reward. I don't necessarily know. I know you want to chime in a little bit about the Steelers as well, Brad. I can't even really remember what else kind of like raised my eyebrow. I think, before you go into the Steelers, I will say there's going to be some clipboard time for some of the other quarterbacks as well. Jaden Daniels, man, look like he looks the part, man, but man, looks real thin. Some of these guys look real too thin to play football, Brandon. I thought we watched the NBA draft. I'm like, this is going to be a small forward for the Detroit Pistons. Oh no, he's a football player. Oh no, man, he better. You know, they're going to have to put him on the program. Get a little bigger. You know what I mean? But no, I didn't necessarily think the Pittsburgh Steelers, they did enough. They addressed some of their needs. I don't necessarily consider them necessarily splash moves. I also think Buffalo clearly, you know what I'm saying, with all the jettison parts they, you know what I'm saying, they lost during free agency period. They kind of replaced everything in the draft. So they got, but they're gonna be real young. You know what I'm saying? For sure. I like their young pieces they have. So expect everybody. You hear it first. Buffalo Bills on the youth movement. I'm not saying they're going to the Super Bowl with their youth movement, but they're on a youth movement. So, no, man. What did you think about Pittsburgh?
Yeah, I love the draft. Draft grade A+. I've seen several analysts give it an A+. They got their needs they needed. Khan said he was pleased about how the weekend turned out. They addressed their needs. They got some high character guys, some players that are going to help not only this year but in the future. Troy Falatanu, offensive tackle. That's a huge pickup for them. He's going to be able to help out that offensive line, especially when you got Russ or Fields back there. You need to sew up that offensive line a little bit. So adding that was huge. Second round, you got Zach Frazier, a center. So you're adding more. Mason Cole, who was the center last year, he need to be there this year. So Zach Frazier is going to fulfill that role right there, most likely. Third round, they went and got Roman Wilson, a gadget wide receiver from Michigan for Harbaugh. I love the addition with Roman Wilson. They went and got a linebacker, a guard, a defensive end, and defensive back. Yeah, I thought it was a good one. I like what they're doing here. Even John, just looking, and I was looking at their additions this offseason for the Steelers. They're not done. There are rumors going around right now that Omar Khan is working a trade. That either Brandon Ayuk or DK Metcalf is coming to Pittsburgh. There is heavy talk with that DK and Russ Wilson could be combined.
Really?
Yes. So I'm excited for that. If that is the case, right now you're looking at your wide receivers. You've got George Pickens, Roman Wilson, the rookie. They signed Van Jefferson. They signed Quez Watkins. They also went out and signed Cordell Patterson in there. But you got Najee and Jalen in the backfield. You got Freiermuth there. I love what this is looking like for this team. If you can get yourself Metcalf, or you can go out there and get Ayuk, boy. And they asked Omar Khan if he's done. They freed up some money, and he goes, They said, are you set at the wide receiver position? He goes, we'll see. We're looking at a few things right now. So that means to me that they're not done. They're looking to make that big trade and just trying to work the pieces in right now. You got to strike while you can, man. And this is it. And I think even adding Roman Wilson in there, that dude's a gadget guy. He's not as flashy as Ayuk, but it fills a huge need that they needed. So, and for third round value, that was perfect.
Yeah. The other thing, man, before you want to switch gears, man, on football, man, that I took away from the draft was like, where are all those guys, those named college guys? Where'd they go? Like the Jared Verse, like the Rams, like Jared Verse and Blake Corum. I'm just kind of spoiler alert, like where I'm going with this, man. The Rams, they because they kind of probably had some draft picks after like all that Stafford trade, then all those other trades that kind of brought that talent, that Super Bowl together for them. The Rams actually had a pretty, I think, on paper, and like I said, they put some of the name guys, on that team. Now, I would say the Rams also another team to kind of watch out for. For sure.
Yeah, absolutely. They added Blake Corum in there. I thought that was a huge add for them as well. Joe Milton, he went to New England. So New England now's got Jane Daniels and Joe Milton up there in Foxborough. We'll see how that experiment goes. But I thought it was a good pickup to get him in there. Sorry, not Jane Daniels, Drake May. So you got Milton and May in there. At that, yeah, it's the homie Carson Steele. Where he went somewhere, John. I forget where he went to. Former Ball State Cardinal / UCLA. Oh, he's running back for the Chiefs. You go to the champs, man.
Yeah, he lucked up, didn't he?
So the dude, he should get some playing time there. So shout out to him.
Get some playing time.
Yeah. A couple things this weekend, John. We've got locally here. We've got the mini marathon this weekend here in Indianapolis. Always a great time. The month of May, racing is here. We've got racers and pacers. Never better than that back in the early '90s and 2000s. Kentucky Derby is this weekend as well. Can't wait.
Yep, and you got the first couple weeks, first couple practices with Caitlin Clark with the fever, man.
Yeah.
I know the fever on the struggle bus from a one-loss standpoint. That's why they were number one. That's why they were able to draft Caitlin Clark number one overall this past spring. I don't, Brandon, you know me, I ain't gonna necessarily knock no women's coaching, man. I don't necessarily know, everything. I think they're gonna definitely improve, for sure. By having her out there, they already got another big foundational piece of Leah Boston. You know what I'm saying? This probably definitely gonna still be a learning curve. There's gonna also be those other players gonna be wanting to get a piece of Caitlin Clark, see how good she is. You know what I'm saying? But no, man. That team got, the eyes and ears, of the world, not just, the Big Ten, not just, the world, watching to see what the fever is going to be coming. I do believe not this weekend. It's like 2 weeks from now.
Yeah.
Is when they have their own opener and here locally on WTHR. They'll be broadcasting those games, man. So, exciting times here in the Circle City, man. We got Indy 500 race, Pacers. If they, I ain't gonna say if, when they, right? When they advance, and we got, definitely, like I said, the fever excitement going on. Can't wait.
I do want to give a shout out as well, John. Much needed shout out on Saturday, John. I went up to the MAC Golf Championships up here at Chatham Hills. Got to watch Ball State Golf in the MAC Championship. Got to see their guys, talk with their guys. Got to talk with Coach Mike Fleck. John, they are MAC champions. MAC champs. Today was the drawing. They're in the NCAA tournament. They are in the Chapel Hill Regional as a 12 seed going there. I am ecstatic. Coach Mike Fleck, also Coach of the Year for the MAC, friend of the program. I cannot be happier for the team. I can't be happier for the university. I cannot be happier for Coach himself. Awesome job, and I'm excited to have Coach on here in a few weeks after the season wraps up.
Yeah, they got their mission ahead of them, man. And anybody knows, listen to our show annually, routinely knows that Coach Fleck comes on and we do a deep dive. I'm always in that learning position. Taking notes on like how I can get a better swing or even better putt. But like no, man. And we got me and Brandon Reed got a chance to go down there. Down to Muscatown and meet Coach, man, and that was incredible as well, man. So, man, I couldn't be happier. I mean, Coach is a for real Cardinal. He went to school there, and it's like he went to school and immediately became the coach. 2 or 3 years after of graduating. You know what I'm saying? Graduate school and all those, man. But like, nah, man, I couldn't be more happy for Coach, man. And like when he comes back on these Crossroads airways, man, he's gonna download. And if you ain't, he's gonna download. If you're an avid golfer, you know what I'm saying, and want to get your game up, or if you, you know what I'm saying, a student that's, you know what I'm saying, trying to, you know what I'm saying, see which school you're gonna go to. If you're gonna go to a Ball State, or you're gonna go to a, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You might want to go listen that night. If we got, Brandon, we got files that people can go listen to. I don't know the show numbers right now, man, but I'll get them posted, man. Yeah, it's great to see Coach, you know what I'm saying, he has a lot of passion for the game of golf. He's always been open and very, you know what I'm saying, with his time with us, man. It's always good to see, you know what I'm saying, a friend of the program move, you know what I'm saying, do something bigger and better, man. So,
yeah.
Congrats, Coach, man. We'll see you in a couple weeks, man, hopefully.
Absolutely, man. They're out there on Saturday grinding away with a one shot down, and this dude, we're sitting there talking in between groups coming through about Pacers, their game. They're talking about he's asking about my golf game, and I'm like, Coach, you're in the middle of a MAC championship right now, man. We got groups coming through. He's just a humble dude, very humble, happy for what we do. Excited for us just as much as we're excited for him. And we'll be following him for sure. And I can't wait. We'll get him on here in a couple of weeks. I promise you. He said he would come on back with us to chop it up. So looking forward to that. John, Kentucky Derby. Our boy Justin Powell is watching. So Justin, thanks for watching. I do want to get you some Derby talk. I've got some picks, John. I got a couple picks, I guess. If the people are asking for it now, I got to give them something. Going to and I guess, wait a minute, what are we doing here? Anytime we have the Derby, we've got to play the sound clip, right? Here we go. We've got to play it a little bit. Here we go. It's time. The Derby, the 150th running of the Kentucky Derby this Saturday. I cannot wait. A lot of stuff going on in this city on Saturday as well. My gosh. Friday, before that, the Kentucky Oaks, the women, the girls racing. Race 11, 5:51 p.m., the Kentucky Oaks. Justin, hope you're listening. I'll let you know some of my favorites I like. My favorite I like the 13 horse. Just FYI, that's the name of the horse. But I do like Just FYI. Right now, currently odds are 9-2. I like that as my favorite. I also like the number 5 horse, Torpedo Anna, at 5-1. I love that horse. It has ran very little, but when it has ran, it's been on. So I do love that horse. What I like, Justin, I like the 5 over the 12, the 14, or the 13. Power Squeeze as well. Leslie's Rose. I do like Power Squeeze. I do like that. That's 12-1 right now in the odds. And I also like the 13 over the 12, the 14, or the 5. So that's my pick for the Oaks itself. When I'm sitting here looking at horses for the big boy race, the Derby, Saturday evening, like 6:50 something, John. Right now, Sierra Leone is your favorite right now at 3-1. I could go chalk and go as the favorite, but I'm going fierceness. Fierceness is something not only does Ball State Golf have that fierceness, but the Pacers having that fierceness as well. Something about fierceness. Todd Pletcher, he's always up there winning these races every so often. You've got John Velasquez riding fierceness. 5-2 odds right now for fierceness. I love it. Pletcher, yeah, Justin. I like fierceness, and I like this horse to win the Derby. If you're asking me for a long shot that I like, man, who do I have here? Where's my list at? My long shot I have was I had Just a Touch. Just a Touch, Brad Cox, another Brad Cox horse. 10-1 right now, Just a Touch. That would be my long shot. And I like Catching Freedom a little bit. Catching Freedom 8-1, the number 4 horse. But Fierceness, Catching Freedom, and Just a Touch. Those are my 3 I like going into the Derby on Saturday. Justin, let me know what you think, man. Who you like, would like to hear that as well. We'll be continuing, obviously, our conversations on Twitter, on Facebook. Let us know how the stream is, folks. I'm trying a new software, and I hope it's working right. We're going away from the previous company that we used. There's more opportunity with this one. It's a little more expensive, but there's more opportunity with this, and we're looking to do that with here. So, yeah, great stuff this weekend, John. Man, Pacers, Racers. I'm going to be at Game 6 tomorrow night. Can't wait. What else you got for us, John? And I'll let you kind of wrap us up, my man.
Dude, I know, man. The fandom out there is wondering why we chimed in on the baseball. But
we will.
You know what I'm saying?
We will.
I know it's just April. It's just April. Oh, May. Shame on me. So it's still a little early, man. But you know what I'm saying? The best team in baseball. I don't know. I could probably give you the top 3. The Braves, and this is with Acuna still in Raleigh. They still ain't got their bats on them, but the Braves are still a pretty darn good team. The Dodgers still up there. The homie then put all the gambling shit behind him. And he's probably gonna get another MVP, believe it or not, Ohtani. And then they again, I'm talking in April, so this might slide. Right now, the Baltimore Orioles are looking pretty good too. I don't necessarily. I know that's said 5. That's 3. Right now, I just got 3, man. The Cincinnati Reds.
Yankees are looking good right now if they can hold on.
Yeah. I forgot about the Yankees. Yeah. And he's back out there. That's who I would go with. Go ahead.
If I have a sleeper, it's not much of a sleeper, but you talk about Braves. I think the Phillies. Phillies are playing good baseball. Cubbies are doing all right now as well, John. But if I had a sleeper, Guardians would be my sleeper.
Yeah,
Minnesota Twins, man. Twins have won 10 in a row.
I'm just pulling out my ear because on a random Saturday, you know what I mean, UFL will be on, baseball. What you gonna watch? Go watch Major League Baseball every time, man. Brandon Reed's favorite player is Kenny Griffey Jr. And I shoot, man, Kenny Griffey Jr. is a Hall of Famer, and if you're talking baseball, you better know who he is, right? But nah, man, if I had to put together the top 10, the Guardians would be in the top 10. For sure, Yankees.
You know who's not in your top 10?
The Pirates.
I'd say Chicago White Sox, John. 6-25. White Sox have mailed it in.
Oh, man, already?
Mailed it in. Miami Marlins, 7-24. But, man, White Sox, 6-25. Twins. Here's the Twins' craziness. The Twins are 17-13. They are on a 10-game winning streak. So they were 7-13, and they've just rolled now. They have been rolled, which it helps when you play the White Sox, right? They just had a 4-game series. They swept it today with the White Sox. So, but Twins are looking good. But it's early. We'll be talking. We have plenty of time this summer to talk Major League Baseball until our ears bleed. We'll be talking it. We'll be talking racing as well. All that and more. So go ahead, John. Continue.
Oh, man. Outside of that, man, we had a great show tonight. Folks chiming in on the live, man. Thanks for chiming in. Make sure you like, subscribe, and all those things, man. When you're talking about Crossroads Sports tomorrow at the water cooler, man. Thanks to Scott K. Nichols, State Farm Insurance, for being our sponsor. Thanks to Max Custom Motorsports for being our sponsor. How can we do Crossroads Sports on a weekly basis without them? If you are listening to my voice and you aren't, you don't follow me or Brandon Reef on the internet, on the Twitters, as they used to call it, do yourself a favor and do that. Follow Brandon Reef at X, or follow me at 3 Foolish Men on X, or that's on X. That sounds terrible. Or follow Crossroads Sports, period, on Twitter, man. And we continue to have conversation about baseball, football, and professional wrestling, believe it or not. Follow us on our socials, man. Outside of that, man, it's been another great show, man. Who knows what kind of surprises we'll have next Wednesday. But until then, I'm Jonathan Burson. That's been Brandon Reed. This is Crossroads Sports. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening to the Crossroads Sports Radio Show. You can find more episodes